first thing you want to do if you're involved in a motorcycle accident is to call EMS if you're injured. You're simply more exposed on a motorcycle than if you were inside a vehicle. You don't have that extra layer of steel to protect you, and so your injuries are going to be more severe. And even if you don't feel like your injuries are severe, right after an accident, when your adrenaline is pumping, you're probably not the best person to judge that for yourself. I had a client who was injured in a motorcycle accident and ended up needing multiple surgeries, including a surgery to fix a very bad clavicle fracture. And when you see him on the police body cam footage after the accident, he's walking around and talking and acting like basically nothing's wrong. Of course, once that adrenaline wore off and the pain started to kick in, it was a different story. But the point is, it's always better to have a medical professional come out and assess your injuries, because you can't always feel the extent of them yourself. The next thing you absolutely want to do is call the police to come out to the scene. If you call 911, they're most likely going to ask you if you want police, fire, or EMS. Once you ask for EMS, you can also ask that the police come out to the scene to make a report. If you do not want to call 911, you can call 311 to report the accident and still ask that the police come out to the scene. A lot of people are surprised to find out that the police don't always come out to the scene. The main reason they will come out to the scene is if someone's injured, if the vehicles are blocking the road, or if there's some other safety concern. So when you call to report the accident, make sure to communicate that there have been injuries and that you don't feel comfortable exchanging information with the parties on your own. This will make it more likely that the police will come out and make a report, which is really important because you would be surprised how often people change their stories after time goes on and the insurance companies get involved. The next thing to do, if you're able to do so without hurting yourself further, is to speak with any witnesses at the scene. As I mentioned, even if the other driver admits fault right after the accident, stories can and do change as time goes on. Getting the names and contact information for anyone that witnessed the accident can be really helpful down the road. Even if the police come out to the scene and talk to the witnesses, they don't always get the contact information, and it can be really important to be able to get in touch with anyone that witnessed the accident after the fact. You might not feel comfortable asking the person that was responsible for the accident to give you a statement, but if there are any witnesses, it's a good idea to get out your phone and ask them to tell you what happened on camera. Another important step to take, if you can do so safely, is to document the scene. Again, do not rely on the police to do this. If you can safely do so without hurting yourself, use your phone to take pictures of your motorcycle and the other vehicles involved in the accident. It's also a really good idea to get video of the scene and of the vehicles involved. You should also take pictures of driver's licenses and insurance cards of everyone involved in the accident. Information entered into the police report can be entered incorrectly, and it's always smart to have photo evidence that can be referred back to later. The single most important thing you can do after an accident is to get the medical treatment you need. I can't tell you how many clients I've had that have said they've had a little pain after the accident, but after some time and some rest, they hoped it would just go away. Instead, after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the pain just got worse, and eventually they do end up going to the doctor at that point. Delaying initial treatment like that can be really detrimental to both your health and your case. I myself was in a pretty serious accident at the beginning of this year, and I can tell you from personal experience that at first I felt okay. And then, after a few days, I started feeling really severe neck and back pain. Doing what I do, I knew to go to a specialist so that they could get the proper imaging and do all the testing they needed to document any injuries I sustained. And that is just so important to both your health and your case. To get the information you need to get the proper medical care and to document your injuries so that down the road you can prove them to the insurance company or later to the jury. Many people go and see their primary care doctors after they've been in an accident, which isn't a bad thing. But that primary care doctor is going to take the wait and see approach. And that is not always the best approach if what we're trying to do is prove your injuries in the immediate aftermath of an accident. Calling an attorney after you've been in a motorcycle crash is so important so you can understand your legal rights and responsibilities. The insurance companies, even your own, are not your friend. It is their responsibility to pay you as little as possible to settle your claim, and that can be a really dangerous thing. I would say in almost all circumstances, do not give a statement to any insurance company, even your own, without consulting an attorney first. Even if you don't end up hiring an attorney, at least talking to one to understand your rights is always a smart thing to do. A good personal injury attorney is going to know exactly what to do and say to the insurance company to preserve your rights and build your claim. They're going to help you navigate that process and make sure you get the treatment you need to get better and the documentation you need to prove your case. And at FVF, even if we can't take your case, it's our #1 priority to provide education. Even if you don't decide to hire us or any attorney after your motorcycle crash, we are happy to give you the information you need to make the best decisions and so that the insurance company doesn't take advantage of you.